Welcome to Following On after a dramatic fourth day of the third test match between England and India, which sees India having reached the close on 58 for 4, needing a target of 193 to go 2-1 up in the series. They'll need 135 more on the fifth day, which is a sellout at Lord's. They have 6 wickets in hand. They lost 4-3 in a dramatic half an hour before the close of play, including night watchman Akashdeep. But for England, they rued their missed opportunities perhaps in the second innings, resuming on 2 without loss. They were bowled out for 192, never really got going despite a fifth wicket stand of 67 between the captain Ben Stokes and his predecessor Joe Root. Root top scored once again with 40, but there was some outstanding off-spin bowling from Washington Sundar, who clean bowled Root, Stokes and Jamie Smith to finish with 4 for 22 in 12.1 overs. So outstanding bowling from him. As I said, England never really got going. 23 from Harry Brook, who was out attempting to sweep Seema Akashdeep and was bowled around his legs. 33 from Ben Stokes. He got a good one from Washington. It seemed as though India might be cruising towards victory, with KL Rahul in full control, although he was dropped on 5, a caught and bowled chance to Chris Woakes, which England may or may not rue. If India had been 5 down, then certainly the home side would be the favourites. But while Rahul will resume on the 5th morning on 33, then India are still the bookmakers' favourites. But a day of massive, massive drama. We've had 3 days of attritional cricket, some of it pretty slow, to be honest, but 14 wickets fell on the 4th day, and we are set up for a day of immense, immense drama. India should win it, Steve Harmison. They've got a lot of batting to come. They've got KL Rahul still there. But if Bryden Carse rediscovers the rhythm that he found suddenly at the end of day 4, he looked brilliant. I mean, he's a big unit, and sometimes all the parts aren't working in sync. But boy, he looked good. He finished with 2 for 11, 2 LBWs, trapping Karan Nair and Shubman Gill, the big man, the big run scorer. Oh boy! After 3 days of having to take deep breaths just to keep going, we're now struggling to keep our breath.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a great day. I'm saying for 3 days, not knowing what to say. I mean, that much happened today. I'm forgetting some of the little things that you've just described there. And I mean, it's been so entertaining. It's been so good. I mean, the pressure that's been on both sides, I don't think either side have held themselves in high regard when it comes to dealing with pressurised situations. I don't think England dealt with a pressurised situation of how well India bowled, put them under pressure, and it was like, it just seemed as though we have 4 or 5 dot balls, whoosh, there's a big shot coming, and all of a sudden there was a wicket. And then at the end there, that was just amazing. It really was, from Bryden Carson, from Ben Stokes. It was captivating. And the one thing that we're going to have, and said on super over to Jarrod Kimber, if there's another session now, England can be dampened down because the ball will eventually get a bit softer, and England will have to utilise other options. Ben Stokes will have to use other options, where having a break tonight, Archer gets a night's sleep, Carse gets a night's sleep. You wonder if you can rediscover what was just done. Stokes gets some more energy into him for tomorrow morning. So the spin option might not be required because the deterioration of the surface is about the seamers, and they're going to be fresh probably for the whole session. And I think the game could be over by the end of the first session.
Jeremy Coney, we've become spoilt in recent years with Test match cricket moving so fast and entertainment in every session on every day. We've had to wait for it in this test, but that's what we're here for.
It certainly is, and it just reinforces once again how much we love this longer game, and the format is fantastic, isn't it? So much action. Today, 14 wickets today. That's a hell of a lot of wickets in one day, isn't it? I didn't think that the batsmen really quite responded, to be honest with you. And when you go through each of the dismissals, there are probably, for top players, there are quite a few errors there. That I'm not trying to sort of be the sort of the man up on the mountain and the oracle at all, but I guess that's what pressure can do to you. So look, at the moment we are in a situation where 100 and whatever is required, 35,
135.
and that's about 30, between 35 and 38 overs. So that's less than 2 sessions. If we go at the current run rate, we won't know what that'll be. I agree with the point about the spinner may not be required. The ball is going to get a little bit older after perhaps an hour's, just a bit less than an hour's play. Is it, or just not quite? So that's going to be an important phase if somehow 2 of the Indian batsmen can last for that period. If they can, India come into it a little bit more. If they can't, then obviously England. We don't know which one's going to be the winners yet. Can't see that.
Harmy, as always, when we get a middling run chase like this, there's always the question, if only it was 220, if only England managed to score another 30 or 40, and we always say that, in some ways it would be easier for India to chase 220, I think, than 190. I mean, you have to be very clear about your plans, don't you? But inevitably there'll be questions asked about some of the dismissals. Ben Duckett was the first to go, out pulling. I mean, he plays that shot very well, and people say, well, was it too early? Or, I mean, Ben Duckett, that he plays that way. Frankly, Zach Crawley did well to last as long as he did for his 22, which was thoroughly unconvincing. So, he could have been dismissed at any moment. Other than that, Harry Brooks' dismissal was the major talking point. It looked horrible. But he just played 2 ramps and a straight drive for 6. He's taken 14 runs with 3 incredibly attacking shots, and then it looked horrible. It was 12 minutes before lunch. He's looking to conventionally sweep Akashdeep, and is bowled round his legs. It looked horrible. But for the others, I think well bowled Washington Sundar really, and England. How many runs did they really leave out there?
I don't think they left too many out there. I think India bowled England out. I thought Sundar bowled nicely. I think they created, for the first time in probably this Test series, where a bowler from either end put pressure on England's batters for a 6 to an 8 over period with Bumrah and with Sundar. The only thing I'm going to have a go at Harry Brook at is the timing of it. I'm not going to have a go too much about the shot. That's his shot. He executed it perfectly. 2 balls before you hit one down the ground. 10 minutes before break, when you're trying to set up a game on a surface which is doing a bit, when both bowlers are going really, really well, to expose somebody, to expose your teammate on that front is probably the only thing I'm going to have a go at him. I'm not going to have a go at his shot. Zach, do you know what? I mean, I think even Joe Root would have struggled during that spell. I mean, Joe Root would have struggled in that spell. Yes, it looked torturous for Zach Crawley, but I think you got to give the bowler Jasprit Bumrah the credit, because he bowled beautiful. He got hit on the hand twice when both times the bat came out of his hand. So I question, the only thing I question is the timing of the Brook ramp. But on that surface, I think going positively was the way to go. I really do. Stokes and Root were both dismissed by sweep shots, but I think it was a safe shot on that surface. They just didn't execute it very well. I think from a purely disintegrating service point of view, I think the best thing for England was to go hard and try and get runs on the board. And I think what we'll see tomorrow is whenever you see a low to middling score, the team that goes and grabs the game is the fast bowler, which England have got a couple of, or somebody goes and puts a massive hole in it very, very quickly. Now, that could happen tomorrow, Rishabh Pant. He could come out here and blow England away just by running down the wicket, carving a few, and then all of a sudden England are put on the back foot. So, that's where you see the little complexities of the games going. If you stand and just bat, apart from KL Rahul, everybody else, there's one with your name on it.
By the way, it wasn't just Washington Sundar. Jasprit Bumrah was brilliant at the end. He bowled more than anyone else in the morning session. He finished with 2 for 38. Mohammad Siraj took the first 2 for 31. Jeremy Coney, it was a consummate performance, I thought, from India in the field. The bowlers were all stuck to their plans, didn't they? Very disciplined. This is their game to win, isn't it? 135 to win with Pant to come, as Harmy says, and then 3 all-rounders with Washington Sundar scheduled to come in at 9 now that Akashdeep's been dismissed. This is India's game to win.
Well, well, they should. But you know what we've seen, so we just can't say that's going to be the case. I don't think some of the players seem to be playing at the moment, I don't think we can really feel that they're that secure. But Rahul certainly seems to have handled things okay. Pant, as you know, Harmy has said, he's a dangerous player. You give him 35 minutes and 40 minutes and the game can suddenly be wide open. If things go for him, he's going to play the way that he does, and if things go for him, he can open this game up. And as you say, Reddy, Sundar, Jadeja, those 3 have batted reasonably well in the first innings. They're not going to have, presumably, the problems that we thought they were having with Light earlier here today. But if England bowl well, they can get them because the ball is still doing something out there. So, yeah, both teams, I think, are still in this game. But Crawley, I would say, loose drive again to Reddy. How many times have we seen that from, I'm not talking about the ones at the far end where they were leaping at him. I mean, that can make anybody in trouble. But the actual dismissal itself, Duckett, I thought it was fair enough to have a crack from this end that was keeping a bit lower to play his pull, hook, if you like, but he just got it too high and that sort of thing. I thought Pope was, again, overbalancing and he couldn't get access to because his pad's in the way and so on, so his LBW. Brook, I thought they actually moved backward square around much finer to cover the ramp. So then he played the square, the sweep, as you say, and just got it wrong. He just missed it. It wasn't a bad thinking, actually, for the shot, but he just missed it and got bowled behind his legs. So, look, I'm enjoying the game, though, very much indeed, and I think people should be really tuning in tomorrow to just find out what's going to happen here. No one quite knows.
How will Ben Stokes be as captain tonight? I mean, what happens in situations like this? Does he just let everyone go and do their own thing and have a quiet meal, hope they get a good night's sleep, and then leave the talking until tomorrow? As far as India are concerned, I suspect emotion's been running high, hasn't it? I mean, and it's been good to see for the most part. Hopefully it hasn't spilled over and become unacceptable. But there was a lot of emotion out there. And I just wonder whether the ideal is to try and lead case that and put it to one side and come out calm, or actually come out with this, try and get the same emotions running.
I think you got to come the same emotions, mate. I think they go same emotions going. I think that gets the crowd going. That gets you on your feet. Archer first thing tomorrow morning, making sure that he's ready. I think Ben will be excited about this. I really do. I think there'll be huge amount of excitement in Ben Stokes coming out to try and win a test match. This is what he's made for. This is him. Shubman Gill's got no control about what's at the other end, from his point of view, because he's out of the test match. Ben can influence the game in his decisions and his bowling. And for me, that's when he is at his best. So, as much as India, we feel that India are slightly ahead. I'm still backing England, because I think England, because they've had the break tonight, and because Ben Stokes, as a leader, will make his team believe at any given point, even at 120 for 4 here. If we get to 120 for 4, a lot of people will potentially start giving the game up. Ben Stokes won't. He'll know that on this surface, 3 quick wickets, bang, 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 150 for 5, all of a sudden, 150 for 7, all of a sudden, and his team will believe. And that's why, for me, he's one of England's greatest captains.
I think India have still got to go, though. I think if they can get one good partnership going, 190 isn't much. It's only, now 130. So you only really need a partnership of 40 or 50, and suddenly it looks a bit different. And that will help the rest of them gain some confidence that we can actually achieve this. It's just there. And I think they've matched England with the emotional, if we want to call it that, side of the game. It's quite even, I think, don't you? And it could just tip either way. We're near the Plimsoll line. If it was a boat, either way, really, for either side.
Rewind back, day 5, Headingley. We felt there was only one team believed that could win that game. Chasing 3
India lacked emotion on that.
India lacked it. And that's what Ben Stokes will be telling his team that these don't believe they can win. We believe we can win. It's all right saying it. You've got to go out and do it. Day 5 at Headingley, England went out and did it. Yes, it was a tall order. It was probably a taller order at Headingley than what it is here, because this pitch is deteriorating. You know, this game can only go a short amount of time. It's not as though they're going to bowl all day tomorrow. They're going to bowl, worst case scenario, they're going to bowl 30 overs, 30, 35 overs. So it'll be the team that comes out tomorrow and believes they're going to win. And I think England will have that belief. And it'll be interesting to see what India's body language is, because I don't think they had that belief at Headingley on day 5 to go and win that test match. And England chased 350 on that last day. To bowl them out for less than 130, England will believe they can take 6 wickets.
Final thought for you. I know Shoaib Bashir is probably not going to take wickets against the middle order players, but I do get the sense if he does play a role and India are 7 or 8 down with 20 to go and Bashir comes into bowl, then that could be very interesting.
Yes, he might turn to Joe Root. He might turn to Joe Root tomorrow. If he has to turn to a spinner, he might turn to Joe's experience, and also the fact that it's Joe Root, it's not Shoaib Bashir, and it's somebody who Ben might dangle a carrot and go, right, you know, here's Joe Root if he needs a wicket, because, you know, it only needs one door to open, and he might go, right, if Bashir's not fit enough to bowl, go with a little bit of Root to see if a little bit of turn, to see if there's any sort of indecision, to see if India go, right, this is our chance. Because, you know, go and belt him out the attack, 20 runs, there you go. Ascendancies with us, that didn't work. So there's all these little things tomorrow which will be fascinating. But it's who, for me, believes they think they can win. And I know for a fact that the team on the left-hand side of that pavilion that we're looking at now, they will come back tomorrow morning believing they can win. Will the opposition? Time will tell.
You're going England. I think India will limp over the line, so we're going to
I'm not really sure about who's going to win, guys. I'm not trying to sit on the fence. Seriously, I just think these are both sides that could win, and they're both sides that could lose, actually. I mean, as far as the spinner is concerned, I just think you've got 4 seamers. That's only 8 overs each, and it doesn't have to be in one spell, does it? It can be in 2 spells, so it's not beyond the seamers just bowling out the whole time. And it seems to be a seamers kind of wicket, unless you are a quality spinner. And I'm not sure Joe's going to run through the batsman.
He just wants 1 wicket from him.
Yeah, I just want 1 wicket from him, just to break a partnership up if need be. One thing I will say about this tomorrow, right? You will, as much as you've heard me for the last 4 years to try and tell Ben Stokes to stop bowling, if he bowls the first over from this end tomorrow and gets a wicket, I can see him bowling for the rest of the test match. You won't hear me telling him to stop bowling and get off, because if he believes he can bowl a 10 over spell, a 12 over spell to win the game, I'll be a brave man to call that, take the ball out of his hand. So, you know, these are the things that I can't wait for tomorrow morning.
Well, that's it. Following on, the Lord's Test match is up for grabs. India will resume on 58 for 4, needing 135 runs to win. And you don't have to miss a single ball of it, because we'll have ball-by-ball commentary from 10:55 a.m. on Monday, the 5th and final day. It's a sellout at Lord's. Promises to be worth every single penny. See you then.